The family with by far the largest resume is the Targaryens. Their sigil is a three-headed dragon, and their words are fire and blood, something they definitely brought a lot of when they first invaded Westeros 300 years ago. Because the Targaryen line is extremely convoluted, I'm just going to cover main events here, and not every corner of their family tree. So if you see a few famous Targaryens left out, like Baelor the Blessed, Aemon the Dragon Knight, or Brynden Rivers, it's only in the interest of keeping this video a little bit more concise. I'm sure I'll get to cover them in another video, I just don't want to throw extra unneeded information at you for the time being. So with that out of the way, let's look at the rise and fall of the Targaryens. The Targaryens originated from Valyria, an empire that once had dominion over almost all of the eastern world. One day, Daenys Targaryen, only a young girl, had a vision that some sort of cataclysmic event would swallow Valyria whole, destroying it forever. Her father Aenar Targaryen took these visions very seriously, and sailed west with his family and their dragons, building a home for them on the small island of Dragonstone. For over a decade nothing happened, but eventually the Targaryens received word that Valyria was destroyed overnight by volcanic eruptions and massive earthquakes. And with nowhere left to go, the Targaryens remained confined to Dragonstone for over 100 years, always marrying incestuously to keep their Targaryen bloodlines as undiluted as possible. Eventually, the ambitious Aegon Targaryen I came along. Not being satisfied with their rulership over only the tiny island of Dragonstone, Aegon and his sisters Rhaenys and Visenya united the Seven Kingdoms that had been separated for thousands of years under their one dragon banner. The three siblings established a dynasty that lasted nearly 3 centuries, but problems for the Targaryen rulership started just 100 years later. Not only did the constant years of incest make half the Targaryens go crazy, but multiple marriages also left the line of succession up for debate. Rhaenyra and her half-brother Aegon II's fight over the throne erupted in a civil war that not only ended with them being killed, but all of the Targaryen dragons as well. Rhaenyra's son Aegon III was the first king to rule without dragons, and because of this he was given the nickname Dragonbane. Another thorn in the Targaryen side came from House Blackfyre. 70 years later, Aegon IV, known as Aegon the Unworthy, cheated on his sister with his cousin, and no, I'm not making that up, resulted in the bastard line of House Blackfyre. This wouldn't have been such a problem if not for the fact that Aegon IV legitimized all of his bastards, putting them in contention for the throne. The Blackfyres rebelled time and time again for almost 100 years, until they were finally put down by Aegon V in the War of the Nine Penny Kings. But for his grandson, Aerys Targaryen, another rebellion would prove to be their family's undoing. Aerys and his son Rhaegar and grandchildren Rhaenys and Aegon VI were all slain in Robert's rebellion, leaving his pregnant wife and sister Rhaella to flee to Pentos with his young son. Rhaella died in childbirth during the voyage, leaving Viserys and his baby sister Daenerys as the last of the Targaryen dynasty. Now, since the only confirmed Targaryens we've met are Daenerys, Viserys, and Maester Aemon, I'm only going to pick from these three. I'll get my controversial views on Daenerys out of the way right off the bat. I don't really like her. Her character is boring at best and arrogant and deluded at worst. I've never really had a connection with her character. It sure seems like the writers of the show do, though. Just look at this final shot of season 3. Now, I do like Viserys, and you can hear all about my opinions on him in this video here. And Maester Aemon, who is the great-uncle of the Mad King Aerys, seems to have a great story behind him as well, from what we get to see anyways. Now, get ready for some major spoilers that cover everything until the end of A Dance with Dragons. Huge spoilers coming at you in 3, 2, 1. Viserys gets his face melted by Khal Drogo. Aemon dies of old age while traveling to Old Town with Sam, and Daenerys isn't really all that much closer to conquering the Seven Kingdoms. The biggest thing, though, is that Aegon VI, or at least someone claiming to be him, is still alive after being smuggled out as a baby in the Siege of King's Landing. That's it for now. We still have 3 more houses and regions left to go, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time in The Reach. Also, go home, Madonna. You're drunk.